The Niners right now, early in the season's a little bit defined by high-priced veterans, not necessarily living up to their contracts. Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, but then you got Jauan Jennings, who's another one of these, Jordan Mason, Brock Purdy, guys who haven't gotten paid, guys who were backups who are stepping up. I want to talk about Jennings in particular. He gets one start. He goes for 175 and 3 touchdowns. He looked incredible, at least in this one game. If you were the play caller here, how would you approach his role in the offense moving forward? Would he go back to being an afterthought who gets on the field on third down sometimes, or are you now looking to feature him? How should the Niners approach Jauan Jennings?
Well, the thing being, now here's the other problem. You gave Ayuk all this money, and you got Debo, and there's only one ball. I hate to say it, and you got 5 guys on the field, all of whom want to touch the ball. You got a tight end in Kittle who's getting big money, and he wants to get the ball. You got wide receivers. Now your running game is a little different. Your passing game's different in the backfield because you don't have McCaffrey. So Mason's not going to be the same guy as McCaffrey in the passing game. So that removes that equation. I can use Mason a little bit different in the passing game as a check down guy rather than a guy I put out there on the flank in the perimeter and motion and shifts and screens and all this, the dodge routes and the choice routes, because that's not Mason. So now, I can utilize Jennings more, and I've got to come up with a package where I can integrate all of them. You got to mix it up.
It seems like at this point in his career, he's a better wide receiver than Debo Samuel. I mean, should Jauan Jennings go to the bench, or should Debo go to the bench, or should Brandon go to the bench? Or are they making too much money to do that?
Or should Juice go to the bench and you just play with 11 personnel? See, here's the thing. I no disrespect to you, and I've mentioned this. We've talked about this. In fact, was it last year or 2 years ago? You and I discussed the fact before they played the Patriots back in New England, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about the juice factor and that he was not being utilized in the offense. And that if I were Shanahan, when they went back to New England to play, I'd have to get Juice the ball on some runs and on some touches in the passing game and utilize the guy. Otherwise, he's a decoy out there in the field. It's like an iron deer on the lawn in your mother's yard. Hey, it's for decoration, but what does it add to the yard? You know what I mean? And he's not adding anything to the defense. To the offense. I would take him out and go with Mason as the running back, and put in 3 wides and a tight end and go 11 personnel. Now I can get all of those guys on the field at the same time. Put my best 11 players on the field. Now, is Juice better than Jennings?
No.
Thank you. So therefore, I'm going to line up with I'm putting my best 11 on the field. And I'm going to come up with a scheme, a package, runs, play action pass, drop back passes, and all that with those 11 guys on the field.
Now, I know with Juszczyk, having a fullback allows the offense to sort of do more schematically in the run game, and that helps when Christian McCaffrey's out there because they do a lot of different concepts. But with Jordan Mason, it looks like they're essentially running outside zone and inside zone. And what is Juszczyk really adding to the offense?
Other than the shift and motion, disguises and everything, nothing. And see, the other thing about it is you can run the inside zone, outside zone with 11 personnel. I don't need to be in 21 personnel. I don't need to be in 22 personnel. I can be in 12 personnel. I can be in 11 personnel. I can be in 10 personnel. So I say you put your best 11 on the field.
I mean, Sean McVay and the Rams have been running 11 personnel for a very long time with the same scheme. I mean, it seems like a lot of people run this particular scheme with 3 wide receivers on the field.
Well, my concern is from an offensive perspective, I want my best 11 on the field. I don't want the guy sitting over there next to the Gatorade bucket. I want them on the field. So I'm going to put my best 11 out there. And if it's 11 personnel, it's 11 personnel. Now, you can make substitutions in certain situations if you like something that Juice can bring to the game in terms of productivity. If you want to run, you can run the toss crack scheme with 11 personnel. You don't have to have 21 personnel on the field to do that.
Jennings can block. You can block.
Yeah. Plus, remember now, I go to 11 personnel. that makes you on defense go to a different defensive scheme if you're going to try to match up. And so now you're going to have more DBs on the field, more coverage people on the field. So now you're matching up with my 11. If you stay basic and I have 11, that's a great advantage for me. But now you substitute in, you bring in more midgets for coverage, then now my receivers can block your midgets. So yeah, that's even tit for tat.
This seems like an interesting test for Kyle because a great coach uses the players he has, and like you said, gets the best players on the field. A scheme coach sticks with what he knows and goes with 21 because he feels that's the best way to approach playing football. So he's got 3 really good wide receivers. He really can't put Jauan Jennings back on the bench. See if he figures it out.
Correct. The thing about it is I've got to create my offensive game plan and my packages around my best players. And so I have to adjust to what I have. I got to coach the players I have, and make those adjustments. And especially now with the NFL, with injuries and all that, each week I may not have the same players available. So every week I have to look at, okay, who's healthy, who's going to be ready to go. Now, how can I create packages around those guys who are going to be able to play? And I have to be able to, I have enough time, obviously, now to make tweaks to the system and bring in new plays to feature those guys. And what's wrong with lining up in 11 personnel on first down and running the ball? What's wrong with lining up on first down with 11 personnel and play actioning? What's wrong with lining up on first down with 11 personnel and once in a while throwing the ball? But yeah, you can run the ball. You can run. Look at what Peyton Manning used to do and Brady used to do at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. They didn't it was not a revolving door for personnel. See, the thing about it is, I look at the Niners and they wear out a patch of grass going from the bench to the huddle, the bench to the huddle, the bench to the huddle, and they burn a path. And it's like a revolving door at Nordstrom's or Whitesdale or the BART station. I mean, it's like new faces are coming in every play. Why are we changing personnel? Why are we substituting? What, to run plays? Mm-hmm. But I want to run plays that feature players and get the ball to my playmakers, not just run plays and show you different looks.
Also, from the opponent's perspective, every time they see Jennings running off the field and Juszczyk running on the field, they're like, yes.
Yeah, you're taking away an offensive weapon for a guy who never gets the ball. What, did he get 1 touch last week?
Maybe 6 yards and a penny.
I wouldn't even blink an eye when I see the guy out there. Oh, okay, don't even cover the guy. He's never going to get the ball. He's never going to run the ball. Is he going to lead me to the ball by being the lead blocker, though? Or what is the scheme of using Juszczyk that might give me a key as to what Kyle's going to run with Juszczyk in the game? Yeah. Does he lead me to the football? Now, all of a sudden, your offense is less efficient because Juszczyk is what I call your offensive tell. Mm. It's like playing poker. Everybody has a tell, what you do. Well, when Juszczyk comes into the game, what does that tell me defensively?